It's the classic debate, the question that has been argued in comic shops and on internet forums for decades. The unstoppable force versus the immovable object. Berserker rage versus limitless power. Wolverine versus the Hulk. We've seen them go at it for years across countless comics and animated shows. But what if I told you that while the fight is iconic, it's rarely been a fair one? Even though they've had numerous clashes, the comics have, more often than not, shown us who really has the upper hand. Today, we're going to cut through all the noise. We're ignoring playground, who would win arguments, and digging into the cold, hard evidence from the pages of Marvel Comics. This is the deep dive into what actually happens when Wolverine has unbreakable bones and razor-sharp claws meet the Hulk's world-breaking fury. So, forget what you think you know. The truth is a lot more one-sided than you might believe. Section 1. The contenders. Before we get into the gory details of their battles, let's get to know our fighters. This isn't just two angry dudes throwing punches. It's a collision of two totally different kinds of power. First up, you have Logan, the Wolverine. He's the best there is at what he does. And what he does isn't very nice. He's got three key things going for him in this fight. First, that famous mutant healing factor. The guy can regenerate from almost any injury, which makes him incredibly difficult to put down for good. Second, his entire skeleton is coated in adamantium, the single toughest, most indestructible metal in the Marvel Universe. This makes his bones practically unbreakable. And third, popping out of his forearms are his signature weapons. 6 adamantium claws, sharp enough to cut through just about anything. Add in decades of training as a soldier, a samurai, and an X-Man, and you've got a master tactician and one of the most dangerous hand-to-hand fighters on Earth. Then there's the Hulk, Dr. Bruce Banner, a genius scientist caught in a gamma bomb blast, turns into a monster of pure, unfiltered rage. The Hulk's power is simple, but it's also terrifyingly absolute. The angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. For all intents and purposes, there's no real upper limit to his strength. We're talking about a guy who has held up the weight of a star, held tectonic plates together, and smashed an asteroid twice the size of Earth with one punch. His durability is just as insane. He's shrugged off energy blasts that could crack a planet and attacks from cosmic-level threats. And while Wolverine is known for his healing, the Hulk has his own incredible regenerative ability that lets him heal from horrific injuries in seconds. Section 2. The common misconception now. I know what some of you are probably thinking, but I've seen Wolverine win. I've seen him get the upper hand. And you're not totally wrong. There have been times where Logan has seemed to win, or at least fight the Hulk to a standstill. But context is key. Let us take a look at their very first real fight in the Incredible Hulk, #181 Wolverine's full debut. In this classic battle, Wolverine is a feral, aggressive, and relentless force. But something interesting happens. Early on, Wolverine's own thoughts admit his claws can't seem to cut the Hulk's super tough skin. Though this was later changed in other comics, the end of that first fight is very telling. After a long brawl, the Hulk ends it by knocking Wolverine out with a single glancing blow. Right from the start, the massive power difference was clear. Other times when Wolverine seems to have the edge, it's often against a weaker version of the Hulk. For example, he did more visible damage against the Grey Hulk, Joe Fixit, who is a significantly less powerful version. In another well-known fight, Wolverine did manage to stab the Hulk in the head, but this was the Amadeus Cho version of the Hulk, who had just been weakened right before their fight. These wins, for Wolverine, almost always have an asterisk next to them. They usually require a specific, weaker Hulk, or a situation where the Hulk isn't fully enraged. When you pit a prime, battle-ready Wolverine against a truly furious Hulk, the story gets very different. The question isn't can Wolverine hurt the Hulk? It's can he survive what happens next? Section 3. The core argument. Why Hulk prevails This brings us to the heart of the matter. In a true, no-holds-barred fight to the finish, with both at their peak, there are three main reasons why the Hulk doesn't just win, he dominates. Point 1. The sheer strength differential. It's hard to truly grasp the massive gap in raw power between them. Wolverine is strong, with peak human to low-level superhuman strength. The Hulk operates on a completely different scale. He has literally held a planet together to keep it from shattering. In one of his most jaw-dropping feats, he supported the weight of a star. During the first Secret Wars, the Molecule Man dropped a mountain range on the heroes, and the Hulk single-handedly held it up, saving everyone. A punch from Wolverine might knock an opponent back. A punch from the Hulk can destroy planets. While Wolverine is a master of enduring pain, there's a limit to what even his healing factor can take. The Hulk's power is basically designed to push past those limits. For Wolverine, it's a battle of attrition he just can't win. For the Hulk, it's just a matter of getting angry enough to end it. Point 2. The durability and healing factor paradox. This is where the debate usually gets interesting. Can Wolverine's claws cut the Hulk? Yes, the comics have shown that they can. But it's not as simple as slicing a piece of paper. During the World War Hulk storyline, when Hulk was arguably at his most powerful and furious, he came back to Earth for revenge. When he fought the X-Men, Wolverine charged right at him, claws out. But Logan himself noted that the Hulk's skin was tougher to cut than ever before. This points to a crucial part of Hulk's power. As his rage grows, so does his durability. So, while Wolverine might get a few good slashes in early on, the longer the fight goes and the angrier Hulk gets, the less effective his claws become. But let's say Wolverine does inflict a deep, nasty wound. Here's the paradox. Both guys have amazing healing factors. The difference is where their power comes from. Wolverine's healing is a constant biological process. The Hulk's healing is tied directly to his rage. The more damage he takes, the angrier he gets, and the faster he heals. Wolverine can stab the Hulk, but the pain just makes Hulk stronger and heals the wound even faster. Wolverine's healing factor, as incredible as it is, can be overwhelmed by enough damage. The Hulk's power, however, creates a feedback loop. Damage leads to rage, which leads to more power, which means more durability and faster healing. Wolverine is fighting a losing battle, while the Hulk is just constantly powering up. Point 3. The definitive encounters. If the feats and theories aren't enough, let's look at the most brutal and clear-cut evidence we have from the comics. I'm talking about the Ultimate Wolverine vs. Hulk miniseries. Now, it's important to remember this story is set in Marvel's Ultimate Universe, which is an alternate reality with different power levels. In this story, after a short argument, an enraged Hulk grabs Wolverine and rips him in half. He literally tears his body in two at the waist and throws his legs to the top of a mountain. This wasn't a quick knockout. This was complete and total annihilation. He didn't even break Wolverine's adamantium bones. He just tore the flesh and ligaments between them, showing a level of strength so immense that the unbreakable skeleton didn't even matter. Wolverine survived, of course, because of his healing factor, but he was left as a torso, crawling through the snow, utterly defeated. Then you have World War Hulk. After being tricked and exiled into space, the Hulk returns to Earth as the World Breaker, fueled by unimaginable rage and grief. He proceeds to defeat pretty much every hero on the planet. When he finally confronts the X-Men, Wolverine makes a brave stand. The result? Hulk pummels him into unconsciousness, essentially rattling his brain inside his own adamantium skull until his healing factor couldn't keep up. At that level of power, Wolverine's skill and claws were just no match for a being whose footsteps alone threatened to shatter the entire coast. The verdict, so, after laying out all the evidence, what's the final call? In a fight to the finish, with no cheap shots and both characters going all out, the Hulk wins. And frankly, it's not that close. Wolverine's best bet would be a quick surgical strike to take out Banner before the rage really starts to build. But against a fully angry Hulk, that window of opportunity is basically non-existent. There are alternate stories, like Old Man Logan, where a desperate Wolverine finds a brutal way to win by letting Hulk eat him, and then regenerating inside to tear his way out. But in a straight-up fight, the odds are overwhelmingly in Hulk's favor. The longer the fight goes, the more certain the outcome. Hulk's strength will keep skyrocketing, his durability will make him nearly impossible to injure, and his healing factor will undo any damage Wolverine manages to cause. For Logan, every second the fight lasts is a step closer to his own defeat. For the Hulk, every punch he takes is just more fuel for the fire. Wolverine might be the best there is at what he does, but what the Hulk does is win this fight. But hey, that's just my take based on the comics. This is one of the most debated matchups for a reason, and I want to know what you think. Who's your winner in an all-out brawl? Drop your reasons down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, do me a favor and hit that like button, and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite comic book battles. Conclusion: at the end of the day, the battle between Wolverine and the Hulk is so legendary because it's a primal conflict, the skilled survivor against the unstoppable monster. While Logan's sheer grit and Unbreakable will mean he would never, ever quit, the Hulk's nearly infinite power makes his victory an almost certainty. It's a messy, brutal, and world-shaking fight, but it's one where raw power almost always triumphs over skill and determination. Thanks for watching.